Okay, so we're gonna do a hand-pricked zipper now. To start off, you'll need two pieces of muslin or some kind of fabric. These are cut at 6 inches by 13 inches, and then this is a regular zipper. I actually shortened it, so about a 7-inch zipper will be fine. All right, so we're gonna stitch these together. We're gonna do a inch seam allowance. What we want to do first is mark the bottom of our zipper. We just do that with a notch. Also, make sure that the zipper head is, at least a quarter of an inch. We're also going to stay stitch this up here to mark, to signify where the waist would be or the neckline, whatever you're putting this in. Okay, so I'm just going to line up the edges of my zipper tape with the cut edge there, and then I'll just mark, here's the bottom of my zipper, I shortened it. So I'm just going to put a notch in right there. And I'll mark that so you can see it a little better. Okay, so that's where the bottom of my zipper will be. Alright, so let's go to the sewing machine. So the first thing we want to do is stay stitch the top edges of this muslin, just like we're treating it just like a garment. So stay stitch it at a 1/2 inch each one. This one and the other one. There we go. And then go ahead and line them back up. Obviously stay stitching to stay stitching, line up your notch. And now stitch them together at 1 inch. What we're going to do is not back tack at the top. We're going to start by stitching with a larger stitch, so lengthen your stitch length to make it easier to come out, because we're going to take it out a little later. And then just go ahead and stitch. Okay, once I get to my notch, I'm going to stop. So right there, I'm going to shorten my stitch length to a construction stitch, a normal construction stitch, and I'll back tack right there, and then continue stitching down to the bottom, and back tack it at the bottom. Okay. Let's go to the iron. All right, let's go ahead and press this seam open. There we go. All right, so there's the wrong side. There's the right side. Let's flip it over again. Again, these are the notches, or this is the notch here and here where my bottom and zipper will be. Okay, so now we want to line up our zipper. Okay, so here's my zipper teeth right here, the pull or the head of the zipper. We're gonna center the teeth right with the seam. Okay, so we're gonna line it up right there. And what we want to do is, here's my stay stitching. So whatever we're going to add to this, whether it's a facing or if this is a skirt and we're sewing a bodice together, whatever, we don't want the zipper head right against that stay stitching. Okay, you want it to about a quarter of an inch below. And now if I line up the edges, now not all zippers are made this way, but in this case, the edges of my zipper tape, when they line up with the cut edge of my garment, they leave about a quarter of an inch between the stay stitching and the pull of the zipper, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so go ahead and make sure that the pull of the zipper is a quarter of an inch below the stay stitching and that the zipper teeth are lined up with that, are centered on the seam. And I'm just going to quickly just pin through all layers right now, lining all those up. And there we go. Right? Remember, this is where our zipper is stopping. Okay, so now we'll flip it over. And now we're going to prick stitch the zipper. Alright, so let's put this aside and grab a needle and thread. We're going to quadruple our thread. So about 4 arm lengths of thread is what you want to pull. Cut it. And now find the 2 ends of your thread and line them up with each other. Okay. Cut them so they're exactly even. Wet them a little bit and then go ahead and put them through your needle's eye. There we go. And pull. You'll have 4 strands of thread now coming through your zipper. Tie a knot in the back. Let's make a loop and go through a couple times. There we go. Alright, so here we're going to go ahead and prick this zipper. So we're going to do it from the face. Alright, when we're doing it, we want to catch all layers. So we're going to catch the face of the fabric, the seam allowance, and the zipper tape. Okay, now you can see right here, well maybe you can't, but I want to catch about the middle of the zipper. Alright, I'm going to put 2 more pins in just to hold this in place. Up here at the top, I don't want it moving around. Now, to make this a little easier for yourself, what you can do is measure out from the center of the zipper how far you want to prick stitch it. So it's about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that means out about 1/4 of an inch from my seam is where I want to prick it. You can mark that if you'd like, right? Or you can eye it. But you want to make sure they're nice and straight. So a lot of times people will baste in right there as well. I'm just going to mark it with chalk. I'm measuring out 1/4 of an inch from my seam one way and the other way as well. There we go. Alright, I'm going to start here. That's my notch. That's where my zipper will stop. So that's what I'll start pricking at. I'm just going through the zipper tape first. I'm just going to make myself a loop. And then I'll go through that loop. And then I'm going to come back this way. Alright. And I'm going to come up right where I went through. Okay. So right about there, I'm coming up. And then right where I came up, okay, here's my thread that came up. I'm going to go right down behind it. And then I'm going to move up, usually do 1/4 inch. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on these. I'm going to come up again. And then right where I came up, I'm going to go right down, right behind where I came up. Okay, this is the prick stitch. And then the same thing again. Up. And then right down behind where I came up. Okay, and you can see little pricks here. Okay, this is what the back is looking like. So again, here's my last prick. I'm going to move up about 1/2 inch. Come up. And then right where I came up, I'm going to go right back down behind. And I'm going to do that all the way up. And this is a centered zipper that we're creating here. Okay, you can also do this on a lap zipper as well. And this method is not used on invisible zippers, just your regular zippers. Okay, and this is a great way to install a zipper. This is how they used to do it. It's a very couture method. Also, if you're creating a garment and you have to put the zipper in and you're having issues by doing it by machine, then you can do it this way. Okay. Get to the top, let's tie it off. Just going through the tape, making a loop, going through that loop twice. Cut it. Okay, there's the back. There's one side done. Now we need to do the other side. So let's quadruple our thread again. So about 4 arms length. The thread. Go. Find the 2 cut ends of that thread. Match them up. Clip it. Wet them down. Put them through your needle's eye. Pull through. Make sure they're even. And there we go. And again, okay, this time we'll start from the top and work my way down. So I'm just catching the zipper tape. Okay. Now the thing is, you want to match up all of your pricks on this side. Sometimes people just mark on each side where each prick is going to be before they even do it. Also, you want to make sure you're using the same color thread when you're doing this that matches your garment. I'm doing it in black so you can see very well exactly what's happening. Okay, so the last one, let's pull through, tie off, creating a loop. Okay, there it is pricked. Pretty even. Not perfect. Some of these stitches are a little too big, but you get the idea. Now I can open up this seam. I'll use my seam ripper. Remember, I stay stitched from, I went back to a construction stitch once I got down to my notch down. So this is normal. Everything above that, it's just a larger stitch, should come out pretty easily. I'll just use my seam ripper to open it up. Start from the top. Careful if you go down towards, you don't want to go too far and go through the permanent stitches. There we go. Okay, and there it is, your hand prick zipper. Okay, it works very nicely. It's good and solid. It's not going anywhere. Okay, maybe you quadruple up your thread is very important, so it's nice and strong. And that's what it looks like. Hand prick zipper. You can see the lips here too. It's about 1/4 of an inch, so it should be. Okay.